Hello there, dear viewer. Today I have some very special discs to talk about. It's the brand new releases from Eureka Entertainment. I've got Black Mask and The Cat and the Canary. And what's special about these is these are the very first discs that are going to be released in the US from Eureka. I have just got done watching both of these and going through all the special features, and I've had a great time. So I'm going to share with you my initial thoughts on these two discs. Whether you're in the US or the UK, these discs will be exactly the same. In fact, the only difference as far as I can tell is on the UK versions we've got the ratings logos. That's the only difference. I talked a bit about Eureka entering the US market when it first got announced, and these titles were announced as well. And I actually think these two particular titles perfectly encapsulate what Eureka are all about today. In Black Mask, you have a Hong Kong martial arts movie with Jet Li, a massive star of the genre. And on the other hand, with Cat and the Canary, you have a silent film from Paul Lenny. I've also talked a bit about my history with Eureka and the fact that they are wholly responsible for getting me into collecting boutique Blu-rays before I even knew that was a thing. And I almost certainly would not be having a YouTube channel devoted to collecting Blu-rays if it weren't for Eureka. So Eureka occupy a special place in my heart, but I'm not just the only one. Many people love what they do. So take my word for it. If you're in the US and you've come across these discs but you've never heard of Eureka before, they do great work. So let's begin with The Cat and the Canary. The story begins with the death of a millionaire, and 20 years later his will is to be opened and read by his family, and they will find out who is going to get all of his assets and his money. Many people who could be in the running come to the mansion for this event, and things start getting out of hand when everyone finds out that it's all been left to his niece. However, if they can deem that she is insane, she does not inherit anything. Meanwhile, there is a murderer called the Cat on the loose. So all of this wrapped up together makes this a great gothic, horror, murder mystery kind of film. Yet there are comedic elements, there's the aspect of dramatic irony, and I think it's a great story and a great film. Paul Lenny, the director, was one of the great filmmakers of the time. He came from Germany to America to start making more movies in Hollywood. However, his career would be cut short when he died just a few years after making this one, which is a real shame because it would have been great to see what he could have done had he been working for a few more decades well into the sound era. It says on the back of this case that this film was very much the prototype for the old dark house movie that would be very popular in Hollywood in the 1930s, and you definitely see that. It's also incredibly influential on basically any murder mystery or any of these kind of films that would come later, including modern films like Knives Out, for example. You can see shades of this film in that, whether it's a direct influence or not, it's all in the DNA. So the presentation on this new disc from Eureka is sourced from a 4K restoration provided by the Museum of Modern Art. So the film has been cleaned up, stabilized, etc. There are still obviously traces of, scratches in the background, which you can see. That is purely due to the age of the film. It's something that you come to expect from these restorations, even if they are brand new 4K restorations, because there's only so much that can be done with modern technology. And it's my opinion that how it is presented here on this disc is fantastic and perfectly watchable. When you think about it, it really is a miraculous thing that we can watch a film from the late 1920s on excellent quality on a disc within our own homes. Whereas this film could have very easily have degraded and been destroyed in the last 100 years. So, it's a great thing to be thankful and grateful that we can actually watch this and enjoy it over and over again. And as well as that, on the disc you get incredible special features. Almost everything here is brand new, including 2 feature-length commentaries for the film. There are interviews with some film critics on here. There is a video essay. So there's just so much to get into. You do, of course, get this slipcover, which I imagine on the US release doesn't have the ratings logo. And if I remove it from its sleeve, you do have this artwork, which is actually a reversible sleeve. So you can display this, or you can display the artwork as is on the slipcover. And as well as the disc, you get a 30 odd page booklet with various new writings on the film. So for me, The Cat and the Canary, an exceptional release. One for silent fans, but I'd say even if you're not a particular fan of silent cinema, or you haven't yet dipped your toes into those waters, this sort of film is a great start. So that is The Cat and the Canary, but now let's have a look at Black Mask. This is the Jet Li fronted action film from Hong Kong. 1996 was when it was released, directed by Daniel Lee, produced by Choi Hak. The story is about this group of super soldiers who have been engineered to feel no pain. So they are like elite killing machines. Jet Li plays one of these who has left behind that life and is living a very normal life away from all the action. However, all of these other super soldiers emerge and he is dragged right back into that life and needs to save the day. Doing so, he puts on a costume and dons the iconic Black Mask, as the film is titled. Black Mask is a very entertaining film with some great choreography, great action sequences. I personally don't think it's like the pinnacle of this kind of film, but it's very enjoyable and I have a great time watching it. It's great to have it on this Blu-ray because for the longest time, the history of this film, it's been quite hard to watch in certain cuts, and I think that's one of the main appealing factors of Eureka's release, is the film is presented here in various different versions. You get the fully uncut Hong Kong version, which from what I gather, and I'm not an expert on the history of this film, this could only really be seen on a DVD, which was from an old VHS rip with some really dodgy subtitles. As well as that, you get the international export version. You get the Taiwanese cut that was presented for distribution in Taiwan. And there is another extended version featuring all the various different cuts of the film kind of blended into one. It actually says on this release that those last two cuts are on the limited edition disc that comes with this. So I imagine if you don't pick this up in the early days, and when a standard edition arrives later on, it won't include the Taiwanese cut and the extended version. At least that's how I read into it from the back of this. In terms of the quality of the picture presented on this disc, it's from a 2K restoration. However, the film does look very soft. You know, there isn't incredible detail there. And maybe this is just because I'm spoilt watching a lot of great 4K restorations lately. But the film does not look, you know, pin sharp with lots of detail. It looks very soft, a bit fuzzy. This could be down to how the film was shot, but I also think it's perhaps the elements provided for that 2K restoration and the fact there just hasn't been a subsequent 4K restoration. So if you're coming at this looking for incredible detail and seeing so much in people's faces and costumes, etc., you might be disappointed in that regard. Anyway, moving on, you do also get some great special features on here. You get 2 brand new audio commentaries, multiple interviews on the disc, so there's lots to get into. Again, if we take off the slipcover, you have the case here. Inside you have 2 discs here. There's no reversible sleeve on this case, but you do get this booklet. The booklet runs at about 20 odd pages with 2 different pieces on the film. So there you have it. That is Black Mask starring Jet Li, now on Blu-ray from Eureka in the US and the UK. If you have any more questions about either one of these releases, just let me know in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you and give you my thoughts. If you'd like to purchase either one of these discs, I'll include some purchasing links down below. If you use those, it helps support the channel at no additional cost to you, so I thank you dearly. If you'd like some more recommendations on boutique Blu-rays and movies in general, just click the video that's presented on screen right now. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.